Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode on the Epic Parenting Chronicles. So, I have a really epic parent with me today, and I want to introduce them to you. And I want all of you to listen to her story with an open heart and also really learn what it is that brought her to this point in her journey and support her and learn from this. So, a big welcome to Maria Varghese, ma'am. Lovely to have you here.
Thank you, Ritika. I'm also happy to come here to be a part of this community.
Thank you so much. So let's quickly dive into it. Just give us a brief background about, how has your life journey been and what brought you to the Parent Academy?
My family is a nuclear family. Me, my husband, and we have two sons, grown-up sons.
Mm-hmm.
My older one is 30 years old, and my younger one is 28 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And the one is married. He has a daughter. And I'm a grandmother of a 1-year-old granddaughter.
Lovely.
So actually came to this parent academy is because what prompted me was basically I'm a lover of children. I love to be with children. And those young days when sorry, I brought up my children. I was not, what to say, I wouldn't say I knew everything. It was like a trial and error method. And I didn't know much. Everything I did was, on a trial and error basis. And I didn't have informed decisions as to how to go about everything. And it was a very difficult journey because the parenting that I had was from my mother who was parented by her parents who were, how the parents of those days were. Like there is always a one-arm distant. You're a child and I'm a mother, and you have to obey me, listen to me, and whatever I dictate to you, you need to listen to it. So, that kind of with that kind of a parenting, I grew up, which I didn't like very much. And then it had a lot of impact on me as well. I didn't have that bond with my mother. Till today, I cannot bond with her very closely. Always there is a small gap between me and her. Her thought process is different from mine, and the way I think and do things are different. And so then what happened was in my early 20s, I got married at the age of 21. And at the age of 22, I had a child. And I really, you can understand 21 and 22, what age that is. I didn't really know how to bring up my child. And my child was a very smart, hyperactive child. And it was beyond my caliber as to how to bring him up and all that. And then, I really didn't know. And he was so kind of fidgety that every single thing he used to run around, pulling down things, picking up, throwing. And my mother used to say, "Mom, you're not bringing up your child properly. He's not disciplined. You don't know how to discipline him. He's throwing everything around." But to me, it was like, why should I, you have to shout at him and control him and all those things. That I didn't like all that. I said, a child be a child. If we need to keep things in order, we should not keep it in front of the child in the first place. So my process was different in comparison to hers. And like when I got into being a parent, I used to start to play with them, dance with them, sing with them. I used to become one with them. I really forgot that I was a mother in the first place. And I used to, I became one like a child, and I really enjoyed that journey of parenting. But that was not the case with my parents. They always felt like, the parent is an authoritative figure who you should respect, whether they are right or wrong. They can do mistakes, but you can't. And it is what they dictate to you that you need to follow. All this kind of things, didn't work with me until today. I have one-arm distance bonding with my mother. So, and really, actually, I brought up my children very well. Until today, they say, "Mama, even without the help of Papa," because my husband, at that time, he went to Dubai to earn and all that. And I was kind of a single parent here. I didn't much allow my mother or father to interfere in my parenting because I didn't like the way they parented my child. They kind of, they used to come and kind of hit me in front of him or threaten me saying, this is not what you should do, that is not what you should do. I didn't say at all. I put them inside the house and locked them up saying, you're not going down anywhere to grandma and grandpa, you'll be here only. So then everything was a learning for me, and I kind of found out that my eldest son was an ADHD child because I found him, from 1 to 3 years. He was very smart. He could learn and all that. But after 3 or 4 years, when I started putting him in school, that teacher found him to be very restless, unlike the other children who would not sit in his place, used to get fidgety and all those things. And no, right from those days, I started getting complaints. But then I thought, okay, my child was too smart for the class, perhaps. As the days went by, when my children grew up and all that, I started getting more and more complaints like he's not able to cope up with the class, he's not completing his work. And I used to get down, like, to fill his, write down all his notes, practically doing everything. He was never interested in studying at all. Even when I used to make him sit to tell stories, 5 minutes he will not sit to listen to the stories. He used to get restless and say, okay, I know, ma, I'm fed up, something, okay, I'm going, and he will run off. But my younger one will sit and listen, and after the story is over, he'll go, ask me hundreds of questions. Like for the three bears stories, when I told him, he said, why, above all, did Goldilocks come and eat the small baby bear's food? It had the mother's food, it had the father's food. That girl was very bad to come and do that to the baby bear, and it broke the baby bear's bed. Did the mummy make the porridge again and give the baby, or how was it? And all kinds of questions he used to ask me, and it was learning for me. I tried to make up the other end of the story, saying, yes, well, I leave you, go hungry to bed tonight. So then the mummy, she never ate. She gave her food to the baby, and later she made her food and ate, and all those concoctions I used to give. So then, as a parent, I learned from my children. I learned how their mind was processing, what kinds of questions they can ask, and how well you can, develop their brains and all that. So I had to have the knowledge of handling both my children in two different ways, because one was not like the other. And then I needed to know that I'm not supposed to compare one child to the other, because everybody and every individual is different. And I learned it from my own very life, because my mother used to always compare me to all the other cousins that I had, saying, see, she's smarter in that field, she's good at sports, she's doing this, she's doing that, why you're not doing that? Used to irritate me in the first place, because I had my own talents. I could sing well, I could dance well. And, she used to stop all that, because her cousins and her parents and sisters used to tell her, don't put her in all that, then her interest will go away there and she will not study and all those things. From there, I learned that whatever talent you had within you, you should build on what you have instead of trying to get something from somewhere which you didn't have. Whatever you have, build on that. So that's how I started to build on my older one. And then from then on, my learning journey started. So why I joined the Parenting Academy was, see, I didn't have any informed decisions, but today's parents, they're having a wide range of platforms where there are so many people coming up with solutions and answers, and I don't know how far it is valid and good. But when I joined your community, when I joined your course, I found it was very, very practical, simple to follow. And it was very empathetic. You had the empathy to listen to us, and you brought up the latest topics that are needed in today's world. And I thought, okay, and moreover, my granddaughter is been given to me to take care of, because both my son and daughter-in-law, they are both working in the IT sector. So I need to take care of her. So when I have the resources, when I have people to give me good knowledge and to bring up that child with informed decisions. Why not take it up? And I went through many courses and so many other things I have seen regarding the parents on so many other platforms and all that. But your parenting academy was awesome. It I lost myself in this community because people accept the way you are, and vulnerability was what shall I say? You can be as much as vulnerable as you are, and people would not judge you here. And we would get answers to all our questions. So I thought this is the right place I need to be because I wanted to bring up my grandchild in the best manner possible to face the world tomorrow with full courage and strength, and to be a what to say, and to be a very mindful, mature child. That's why I joined your community, Ritika.
Maria ma'am, you are an inspiration, and I'll tell you so many reasons that I say that. One is, of course, you are one of the handful of grandparents that are there in the community. Most of them are parents who are in the community, but you, along with some others who I'm interacting with from the parenting inner circle, are grandparents, and you taking an initiative to learn, to come into the art and science of peaceful parenting course, to come to my weekly inner circle calls. You have really been proactive, and I think this is something that can inspire so many parents, right? Because parents always feel that we are too busy, everything has to be managed, our social life is important, our self growth is important, our gym time is important, our Netflix time is important, and I'm not denying that all of those things may be important for sure, but what is also important is your learning and growth. And I always say that as parents, you want your child to be a lifelong learner, but what about your own lifelong learning? If you are not learning, if you are not in that mode, how do you intend to inspire your children to be learning?
That,
And all of those things that you said, you learned through your experience of growing up, you learned through your individual experience of having two children who were vastly different from each other, and they are almost every household has the same story that the two kids or three kids are very different from each other. So all of this is a learning journey, and it's not like this has not been happening, right? Even without a parenting support or a parenting coach or a inner circle community, it has been happening. But the problem is, it is not the same world anymore as it used to
yes,
be. The world used
yes,
to be far simpler, far more in the real realm. And now the world has moved a lot into the real realm or the virtual realm, right? And the problems that are coming are also very different. So I think one thing which I have also heard from you is you're looking to bring up your grandchild in a very mindful way, in a way which aligns with positive parenting in today's context.
yes.
So, have you found maybe one or two things that you want to share that has helped you, that for your grandchild now you are, you found those nuggets of wisdom and you're implementing? Is that something that you would like to share?
Yes, Ritika. See, I have raised two boys, so I
Mm,
know what it means to raise boys. But when it comes to girls, I really don't know because being a girl myself, I never liked to play with toys. My sister used to play with toys. She used to have one doll and one basket full of ever silver toys and all that. She used to call her friends, or she used to go to their house and she used to play. And I used to wonder how they are ever playing with these toys that have no life at all, simply making meaningless things like making food. And how long can they go on? 5 minutes I can't play that game, Ritika. Even if they take me into
so
play,
what
just
was it that you enjoyed? What was your go-to thing as a child?
my thing was I liked to read books. One. Another thing was I liked to, it was active play, like running around trees, hide and seek, and I liked to play hide and seek very much.
Mm.
Scrabble, puzzles, snake and ladder, judo. And it was more or less like, activity outdoor, those tennis park rings we had, shuttlecock. I liked to play like that. I didn't like to play with toys and dolls that had no life at all. I used to tell my sister, this one has no life. It can't talk. It can't do anything. How on earth you're playing with this? And then she will say, you shut up. You don't know how to play. You don't play. Now she's making fun of me. You know what? She's become a teacher.
Mm.
Okay. She's a now, and I sit at home and I cook. So she's saying, you never liked to play with toys, and now God has given you to play with bigger toys in the house. And I played with toys when I was a child, and now I'm a teacher at school. So that's also part of the fun that, I sit back. When I sit back, I just think of all that and I start laughing to myself. And then actually, I really didn't know what kind of toys to give my child and all that. And I have spoken to you so many times asking you what type of toys I need to give her at this age. How should a child play and all that? Because I really didn't know. I gave her a ball, and then I didn't find her very interested with the ball. She simply used to roll the ball and all that. But then after you said, let me give her some toys, there were some other parents also in the community who said, ma'am, age to play with toys. Our children, girls are playing with toys, and there's a lot of this, playing in the mud, and your hands must get dirty and all that. Earlier, when I brought up my children, when they used to dirty their hands in mud and all, my mother will come and tell me, see, they're going to get infection. First, wash their hands. Put Dettol and wash their hands and all that stuff. But after coming here, I knew that's part of the natural process of growth. They must, fall, get up, dirty their hands, climb trees. All this is part of the natural growth, and you will develop immunity. That part of that immunity, I didn't know only when I came here, because otherwise every time, I used to mop the house with Dettol. Now my granddaughter will throw something on the floor also and pick it up and eat. And when I spoke to the doctor saying it's okay, since you're mopping the house every day, that's okay, it's clean. And even if you give it in her hand and she's going to throw it down and eat, it's okay, ma'am. That's part of growing up. Let her eat on her own. Let her learn to eat on her own. She will learn her skills and all that. So
Which is
all that
another big part. I think this is where I want to add a little bit, where a lot of parents have gotten into this mode of overthinking and over protectiveness and over concern. And this is something that we try to bust in the community as well as through my course as well, that, there is a way that human beings evolved, and that happened through adversity. It happened through trial and error. It happened through push and pull. So being extra sanitized about your environment, or extra concerned what will happen if my child falls ill. Yes, if your child gets hurt because they were climbing a tree, it will put your plans out of whack, right? Because maybe you had a call to attend, now you'll have to attend to the child. So it is inconvenient, but we need to understand that it's not important what is inconvenient to us. We have to constantly think from the child's growth perspective. And that's what we keep central in all our discussions. And I think you rightly mentioned that, our own growing up years can influence us. And maybe the way that we grew up is not the best way to think of, the template is probably not the best, or it can be improved. And that's what constant learning does to parents. To be in this zone of learning, you will pick up one or two nuggets of wisdom here and there, and you will transform your life.
So now I give her big vessels from my kitchen, and I can see her playing. I can see her hold the ladle and try to do something like this. Yeah. And then and then she puts her hand and mixes something. Nothing will be there. She makes something and she'll give it to me. She'll give it to her grandpa. Everything. So then I was really thinking, not bad. People are telling me the right things. I really didn't know. Had I not to be here, I would have not known that I need to give her a toy. And she's very happy when she hears the sound, of the clanging vessels and all that. She's very happy. So that way I keep her occupied. Then after that, she's got two dolls. And those dolls, one is Kenzie and one is Betty. So when I ask her, these two are your friends. Her name is Leah. Leah, they are your friends, isn't it? She gives me a broad smile. And then when I tell her, my maid comes in the evening at 7 o'clock and makes chapati for her. And so when I tell her, Leah, when you grow up, the auntie is coming here to make chapati for you. When you grow up and you're able to speak, you must say thank you when you receive it from that auntie. So her way of saying thank you, immediately what she did was, she just gave a pat on her back. So then she was feeling so happy, and she said, see, ma'am, she's able to understand what you're saying. And her way of expressing her gratitude is she's patting on my back. So I'm learning, so many baby languages, love languages, so many things. And after coming here, I have learned a lot of love language also, as to and your everyday classes that you used to have in the beginning, where you used to give us a small nugget saying how can you use this those five love sentences, how can you use to your child in a day. So then I tried to implement all that with her. And she was very, very happy when I gave her the confidence saying, you're a very loving child. I love you so much. And the warmth and the love that when I hugged her and cuddled her and all that, she liked all that so much, Ritika. So much so when her mother called her also, she didn't want to go to her mother. Mm-hmm. So now the mother is worried. And she's telling my son, oh, you looks like in another few months, the baby will not come to us. She thinks that she's the mother and she won't come to
I
us.
think your daughter-in-law needs to join the group. She needs to be very much a part of this group, because then we'll all align on the same. And the idea is not to make one person, the pivot and the other redundant. Everyone in the family will benefit from learning more and growing together. So coming to the second last thing I wanted to ask you is both from the community point of view as well as the advanced course, which is the Art and Science of Peaceful Parenting, of which you are a member. If you can pick up one thing in each of these things that has really helped you and can help others as well.
Actually, the advanced course is, what shall I say? It was an eye opener to me, the advanced course, because we deal on lots of advanced topics which are not, kind of, they're not dealt with or not spoken of also in today's world. For example, what kind of parenting we need to do. If we really need to see our children in the best, in the best of places, what type of parents are we? Whether we are dictator parents or whether we are parents who, walk the talk, or whether, we
authoritative, authoritarian, all of that.
Tiger parenting. There are so many types of parenting. I kind of learned what kind of parenting I had when I was a child. It was a tiger parenting, I should say. Because till today, Ritika, I'm telling you, I've been confused on so many things because I had too many people telling me what and what not to do. And then I learned how the caretaker, whoever the caretaker is, whether it's the mom or the dad or the grandparent or anybody from outside, whoever is taking care of the child, how they need to brace themselves, how they need to equip themselves to bring up the child in a positive manner. If they want the child, if they need to, if they expect a kind of a positive behavior in the child, they need to first and foremost brace themselves with all the things needed to bring up the child in a positive manner. Like you cannot simply tell the child do this and do that and you do something else. You have to walk the talk. How you need to be an example to see what you want. If you need to see the child in a better place, or if you want to get a better outcome from the child, you need to be an example first. So when you're an example, definitely the child is not going to question you. It will look at you and learn from you. So this is one quality that I learned from this, because I've always had dictators around me telling me what I should do and what I shouldn't do, but they will do whatever they want, and you can't question. Yeah. Very recently, I lost my head and I told my mother, every time you keep talking like this, what if I had to compare you with all the other mothers in the world? Huh? So please stop doing this. At least after this, simply don't. Otherwise, I just cut off myself from you. I told my mother. You're irritating.
There's another topic. I think boundaries was another topic we did very recently, and I think it was very deeply resonant with a lot of the members who were there, and also this whole idea of drawing boundaries. And many such topics that we cover. We covered parental aura, things like effective communication. All of those things are just different pieces of figuring out human relationships. And this learning you can take to any relationship. It is not limited to a parent-child relationship. It is relevant to a grandparent-grandchild, employee-employer relationship. Any kind of relationship you can use this. So I think that way. I think it is quite a rich content. I think just finally wrapping up, I want to have your feedback on what is it that you would like to, going forward, learn more from the community, or what is it that you want to see more of?
See, my hopes and expectations for the community by large is I wish that people could join the advanced courses and benefit from it. And moreover, the world is becoming a more complex place, and going without informed decisions, it would be very difficult for us to handle our children and to see them thrive well. For it is, it's not in just bringing up children, but in bringing them up mindfully. And I would like you to touch on current topics for teenagers as well, because I feel, teenagers are the future citizens of tomorrow. So I feel you need to talk on how they need to be with their, female counterparts and how they should behave themselves with them. And they are not somebody else, but just like one among them. Because, for example, I like to just give you an example of my son. My younger one, when he used to go to school and come back, one day he came very sad. When I asked him, what happened, Akshay? Why are you so sad today? No, ma, every time, whenever the girls do something wrong, also, the teacher that's only in front of them and discourage us, saying, you boys are only becoming boisterous and you are bullying the girls.
Yes.
But another day when he came so happy and jolly. I asked him, what happened today? You're so very happy. I'm very happy. All the girls got a good spanking from the teacher. I said, what kind of a boy are you? Somebody's being spanked and you're just excited about it. No, mommy, every time it's the teachers who are blaming us. At least now one teacher recognized it's the boys. I mean, it was on the part of the girls who did the wrong and they got a walloping from the teacher. So I'm very happy they got a good hammering from the teacher.
Which is the exact example I was giving you. Same thing repeated with my son in his school bus as well. So yeah.
So actually this morning I wanted to share that on the group, but then I thought when I talk about this, I will talk to you and talk in person to everybody. So we need to raise better humans, and to raise better humans, we need to brace ourselves with the right skills and knowledge. And I invite all the parents on the behalf of Ritika, my mentor, to join the parenting inner circle community and the advanced community and be a part of an evolved generation and not a revolving generation.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you so much. I think that's just a wonderful way to wrap it up. And with your enthusiasm, zeal, and all that you bring to this, I think there is so much more impact that we are going to create in the parent community, in the school community. And I invite more parents to keep joining this mission of parenting with heart, parenting with love, and parenting with awareness. We are living in 2024. It's impossible not to have access to, let's say, a device to learn or something like that. At least something you have. As long as you have the internet, you cannot avoid being in this learning zone. So thank you so much, Maria ma'am. Really appreciate. Yes.
Regarding the Children's Day program, you asked us to do something. I just spoke to my son, and what he's saying, Ma, even cats and dogs around our house, they're also children, Ma. Why don't we feed it that day? That also would be good.
Absolutely.
Actually, he was kind of telling me, if you have, means like whatever you're going to give me after your demise, like your property or whatever, I'm going to convert it into a house for haven for animals to stay, because there are so many animals who are uncared, and I think they also deserve a good life in this world, mummy. People don't respect animals. I wish I could do that, he said. And so let that be a start for, on Children's Day. Will you please feed all the dogs, he told me. What are your thoughts on that, Ritika?
Oh, absolutely. See, as long as you're doing something with heart and it has something to do with service, because I think in childhood, if we are able to bring this awareness around service and how good service feels when we serve somebody else without the expectation to receive something in return, whether we do it for a human being, for animal, for trees, whatever, for the environment, that's act of service itself is like an act of purifying your soul. And especially in today's over consumption driven, over entitled society where we all want things for ourselves, if we can sow the seed of serving and selflessly amongst children, old children, young children, whoever, I think that serves the purpose. That's what Children's Day is about. Children's Day is also for us. We are also children, right? So whatever feels right, do it. Send me pictures. I will definitely circulate it amongst the entire community, because this is what is going to open up people's minds. Oh, ye bhi kar sakte. Oh, we could have done this also. Oh, this is important. Can I teach my child the importance of respecting all living beings? So whatever you do, every small action, cumulatively, it will show you results. Awesome. Thank you so much. And we wrap up here. So thank you for coming to this interview.